All right, gentlemen, welcome and thank you for your participation in this very informative session. I'm excited to discuss a great 401k plan option that can help employers attract and retain talent, and more importantly, provide financial well-being to their employees and those employees or candidates that are coming in. We'll start with introductions. Andy, please introduce yourself and the name of your organization, please.
Hi, Laura. Yes, very excited to be here. Thanks so much for the invite. My name is Andy Conli. I am the COO for the West Ventura County Business Alliance. We are the Chamber of Commerce for the Oxnard and Camarillo communities.
Great, thank you. Kevin?
Yeah, thank you very much, Laura, for having me. My name's Kevin Mahoney. I am a financial consultant with intellicents, and I really specialize in setup and implementation and management of employee benefit programs of all types for all different types of organizations. And I've been in the business roughly 30 years, and I'm very happy to be here and talk about this great new option.
Great, thank you so much to both of you. Andy, let's start with a brief overview of the West Ventura County Business Alliance and its mission.
Yes, so like I said, we are the Chamber of Commerce for both Camarillo and Oxnard, and so we serve the local business community. So we do that through different networking opportunities, programs, and benefits that can really help the businesses, both the owners and the employees, thrive in this community.
Nice. So what are some specific benefits of joining the WVCBA?
Yes, that rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it there?
It's a mouthful.
Oh yeah, well, trust me, I say it all the time. But we have great events for networking opportunities, for educational opportunities. We also have programs. We have ways kind of connecting those within the business community. And again, we just realized that a lot of people are very busy with trying to keep, the businesses going, people employed. So really trying everything we can, give them the tools they need to be successful and to make things easier for them.
And then to add, the last quarter of the year. It's like a frenzy for everyone, right?
Yes.
Everybody's finishing up the quarter, everybody's getting ready for the new year. So yes, it could be
and no budgets, but also have a lot going on, and also the holiday parties you got to throw.
Exactly. Yeah,
and a late Thanksgiving this year. A late Thanksgiving this year too.
That's important. Okay, well, today I want to talk about a fantastic benefit you are offering to employers. Tell us about the partnership with intellicents and Vestwell to bring employers a great 401k plan option.
Yes, no, this is something we are really excited about, and thank you again for kind of giving us this platform to share about this opportunity. Something that's been over a year in the making. Found out about this through another Chamber of Commerce that offers this this type of program, but it basically is a shared 401k program, and this is something that is very vital for especially right now in the state of California. In the state of California, as of right now, companies that have 5 or more employees are required to have a retirement option. And at the end of next year, it's businesses with 1 or more employees that are required. And of course, there's CalSavers, which I believe Kevin will get into briefly. And that is something that is a good option. But really, a 401k is something that is an incredible option for employers as far as recruitment and retention, but also employees in helping set themselves up for success in retirement, and not only themselves, but also their families. And so finding out about this program that these other chambers run, wanted to see if this is something that we can offer ourselves. Because of some new federal laws that were passed a couple years ago, this is something that can be offered through an association like a Chamber of Commerce. But there are a couple different pieces or layers to it, and it was very complicated, like everything in the financial world is. So I asked around to our members if anyone was familiar with these kind of retirement plans, something that is for these kind of shared type of plans. And that's when I was put in touch with Kevin Mahoney here with intellicents. And so originally Kevin just helped make sense of everything for me. And kind of educated me on all this. And then just going down the road, looked at, other people that offer things kind of similar. But really at the end of the day, myself, our CEO, our board decided that Kevin and intellicents was really the best option for us and for our member businesses to offer a program like this.
Great. Yeah, leave it to the pros to get all of that squared away. So I do want to say that it is important to mention again that California businesses with one employee or more will be required to offer a retirement solution by the end of 2025. That's huge. That's huge. Just one employee and they have to offer this, right? So this offering comes just in time to plan for that. Thank you, Andy, for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, Kevin, thank you for being here and sharing with us the details of this plan. As a pro, we're going to give you the floor to, go through some of these details for us. So let's start with, can you explain what the 401k plan option is and why it's important for employers?
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me again. And as Andy mentioned, we started on this project over a year ago now, and I think when we first became a member of the Alliance, put us in touch. I think Andy realized in the beginning that there was a lot more options than maybe what the first option was, and to be creative and really think it through, because when you set these things in motion, if you rush it to the finish line, it can sometimes create unintended consequences. And Cal Savers is a great catalyst for businesses maybe starting a plan, but I can argue there's always a reason to start a retirement program for your employees, whether Cal Savers existed or not. I think Cal Savers just sort of lights a fire under businesses, but with incentives nowadays, there's definitely a lot of options. So our goal really was to create that solution for the members of the Alliance that was unique to the Alliance. So not coming from a product approach, but really deciding first and foremost, what did the Alliance want to offer to its members? And then me as the consultant going out to the different financial companies and narrowing it down to presenting to the Alliance, saying, these are the different options available and which one do you think would be best? And then interviewing those companies as well to make sure that their service model fit what the Alliance expects its members to receive. And all those things combined. And it sounds like a lot, but again, those are the things you want to kick the tires in the beginning to really make sure that it's set up properly so that the members are ultimately satisfied. And I bring the knowledge and experience to do all that vetting for the Alliance. Because as Andy mentioned at the very beginning, once he peeled back that onion, he just figured it wasn't a shallot. It was one of those big yellow onions you see with many,
The
many
blooming
layers,
onion,
right?
the blooming
Yes,
onion.
yeah. So really dove deep into the details, and I think it was great because it really endeared me to the Alliance and the Alliance to me, with that we had similar values with how we like to treat our customers and our clients.
Now, Andy, was that helpful for you, for somebody to really come in and really help with understanding the components and the way it was going to be? Was that helpful for you?
100%. And having someone like Kevin and the team that works with him, having that background, having that experience, having that knowledge, especially something like this that is very complex, but really broke it down for myself, broke it down for our board of directors, and now I don't want to get too far ahead of things, but now as he's working with our members, really making things simple for them and as far as onboarding them. And Kevin's right. What was really great about intellicents too, that really stood out to us, not only is their knowledge, but a couple of their slogans that they have is, over-serving the underserved. And that really says a lot about it. And they live up to that. And also the serving the 99%. I know a lot of financial firms go after the 1% and understandably, but really they are looking to serve those that might not have the most financial competency or knowledge, like myself in some of these areas. And so they are really great at working not only one-on-one, but other resources, which I'm sure Kevin will get into that they help with.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, Andy. And I think, Laura, also for your firm, our values somewhat align similarly as well, which is why we connected as well, right? Is serving your clients first, not for a financial expectation, but an educational perspective.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly came up with a great solution. So let's talk a little bit about, what sets intellicents and Vestwell apart in terms of 401k plan offerings. Tell us about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that do, but I think the key components are, first of all, the ease of implementation. So I think one of the daunting tasks for employers whenever they decide to start a retirement program is, how do I get started? And is this going to be a bunch of paperwork and time drag on me running my business, especially if imagine a small business with 3 employees and now you're going into CalSavers
Mm.
and you don't want to do that. You're paying all your bills. You're managing your inventory maybe in a retail business, or you're serving your own clients. So we try to make it ease of administration. And then we also, ease of implementation. And then administratively, once the plan is up and running, how can we use technology in that shared group structure that Andy mentioned earlier to transfer some of the duties and burdens of employers to the service providers through using technology and just simplicity. So we use what's called a group of plans structure, which we have some details on the website for the alliance you can look into. I notice I don't try to say that; I just call it the alliance because it's easier to
Hey,
say.
I want to
But
take that too. I'm going to take
yeah,
it too.
yeah. But there's some stuff on the website and webcasts we've done already. You're welcome to listen to, or some of your, whoever's listening to this now. But generally, that group of plan structures allows us to create similar to a group medical type of environment where you're pooling services together. And so the administrative burden is less on each individual because you're sort of dividing those duties, and then Vestwell is doing more of those duties as well. The basic structure of the 401k is the same to what people have done in the past. So if someone has had a 401k in another business they've owned, or they've been part of one for another company they work for, the structure is the same of how they're designed. It's more of how they're run and then who's responsible for what.
Got it. Okay. Well, for small to mid-sized employers, minimizing duties and tasks is truly a benefit because most of the time, these organizations don't have a dedicated HR department, right? They're smaller
That's where
employers.
you come in.
Yes, the consultant comes in, but it is a benefit, a huge benefit. I've been in organizations running 401k plans, so yes, this does take a lot of time, and so it's actually a good thing that there's that service, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What other key benefits can employers expect?
Yeah, so in the group of plan structure, as I mentioned, again, it's a perfectly legitimate. It was part of the Secure Act, which was passed several years ago. A lot of it was done during COVID or just right pre-COVID, so it sort of got lost in the COVID madness of 2020. But this group of plan structure allows anyone a part of this Intellicents Vestwell Alliance 401k plan. They no longer have to file a 5500. There's one 5500 filed for the group. And for those of you that have done one before, I think Laura, you've done one in the past or been a part of those. It's definitely something that you're like, I have to do this. I have a deadline. And typically you get that email and you don't know what to do and you're relying on someone to help you. So you get to get rid of that stress or that anxiety as well. And then also the other major benefit of the group of plans is the pricing. So we got a group level pricing, meaning that because of the exclusivity of the alliance and with Vestwell, there's a discounted pricing that, on a percentage basis is roughly 15% a year less than an off the shelf if you went straight to Vestwell to get pricing direct from them. We have a discounted group pricing. So you couldn't go to Vestwell and get the same pricing. It's not that the pricing is the biggest component, but I think one of the scary things for small businesses is how much of a cost is it going to be. And there are many tax credits and other things available too that can help offset the starting or the cost of a 401k, especially in the first few years. So again, not as much on that today, but there is additional resources about that on the Alliance website.
Got it. And this is why it's important to have the professionals handle all of this. So thank you, Mr. Professional.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
no,
And go
sorry,
ahead, Andy.
Kevin. To your point, though, as you said, there's that discount, but it really is that savings as far as the time and administration, and that is a cost savings as well. And so that is something that really does go work into all of this. And then just wanted to, as far as to springboard off that tax credit that is available there too, and definitely encourage people to look more into that or talk to you about that, because that really will help get this program off the ground for many companies.
Nice. Thank you for that feedback. All right. As far as pricing power, you talked about that. How does it work with these types of plans? What are we
specifically speaking to that? Yeah, I mean that's I know, and I know I like to look at value and service, but I know a lot of individuals buy on price and they look at something as a cost and say, how am I going to fit this cost into my business? So putting the tax credit piece of it aside for a moment, as a group perspective, The pricing model works under the assumption that a certain alliance will have an exclusivity, so that Vestwell will be a partner, and that a certain amount of clients or alliance members will start a plan with the Vestwell and using intellicents. And that basically allowed us to negotiate that lower pricing. And there's possibilities in the future that as it grows, we could go back and renegotiate even lower. So if more alliance members join the fray, if you will, that could help us get pricing power in the future just by the sheer volume. And instead of looking at things one client at a time, so again, if you go to Vestwell or maybe even say a Fidelity or somebody else, whoever it might be, your financial firm of choice, they're going to look at you as an individual client instead of looking at you as a member of an organization that has a broader relationship with that vendor. So that gives us more leverage. And then you're dealing with everything through me. So you're not having to deal with that vendor for the setup. So my team leads all of the process of the setup and becomes your consultant to help with that.
Nice. You guys thought about everything. Wow. All right.
Well, doing this a while, I know the speed bumps that are out there, and some of them are pretty big. They're more like brick walls sometimes. So we want to avoid those.
Where were you when I was handling all the 401ks?
Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, so I know you mentioned the filing of the 5500. Can you tell us a little bit more about the administrative task, how these plans help eliminate that burden, including some of the payroll stuff that comes along with that?
Yeah, the two biggest, you mentioned it, Laura, the two biggest pushbacks we get from plan sponsors is the annual compliance stuff, 5500, and that payroll of how do I not have to deal with payroll as far as money's out of people's paychecks, how does it get into the 401k, and can we automate a lot of that? And a lot of it, most payroll vendors, especially Vestwell being a fintech firm, most payroll vendors have integration, meaning that they'll send data automatically. So imagine your payroll is run, a data file is automatically securely sent to Vestwell. They go in and just draft the money out of your account and give it to each employee, whatever amount they put in out of their paycheck, $50, $100, whatever that is. And that's all automated. And then when an employee makes a change on the Vestwell website, that gets sent back to your payroll vendor. Now, so that you're out, your hands are out. Right. So if an employee comes to you and says, I want to change my 401k, you say, no, go on the Vestwell app, take care of it, or contact your consultant, which is Kevin, or his team, and he can help you with that. So that's one component of it, and that's an administrative burden. So those are the two main things. The other thing is that Vestwell is also acting as a fiduciary, meaning that they are taking a legal stance to be an administrative fiduciary under what's called ERISA, and I won't dive into that too much, but it's a group of laws and regulations that govern what I do in my world. And they're taking on a higher standard of responsibility to basically take that off the plate of the employer. So if something doesn't go well, let's say you have an employee that becomes eligible and they aren't properly notified, that is Vestwell's responsibility to notify them. I know that's another burden of when I hire an employee, how do I make sure they get notified of all these legal documents and everything they need to know properly?
The requirements, yeah, absolutely.
The requirements by law, right? There's certain notices everyone has to get. And Vestwell takes a lot of that burden away as well from the plan sponsors and says we will take care of that for you from a legal perspective. You can never transfer all of those responsibilities because still you're an employer, you're a business, but you can transfer a lot of those duties to a vendor.
That's huge. That's huge for, again, for the small to mid-sized employers who don't have the in-house HR professionals, who don't have the consultants, who don't have the financial awareness of the requirements and the policies that surround a retirement account, right? So this is really, really good, and it's a good choice for employers that to take, because you are going to lift that burden quite a bit, and educate the employees and employers on how to maneuver through the 401k plan. So
and make it run as smooth as possible. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, I know we talked to Andy, to you, about the plan. Andy, talk to us about the any of the members who have actually taken advantage of this, and how are they doing with it, and what are they saying?
Yeah, so we've offered this program now, what, Kevin, about 4 months, and we've
I believe so. Yeah, it really got traction with our kickoff in July and August. We did a webcast and we did an event in September for the Alliance.
yeah, and there's some members that have kind of, even though they didn't know that certain programs like this existed, they were waiting for something like this or wanting something like this because they were aware of the requirements for the Cal Savers. So once they found out that we are offering something like this, they were on board right away. And we have some other members that are currently in a 401k plan, single employer plan, but they're really interested in this group plan for all the reasons why Kevin just stated. And so Kevin and his team are able to switch people over as well if they are currently in a plan, or also signed up if they're currently signed up on Cal Savers as well. So it really is for those who don't currently offer a 401k or anything similar, retirement solution. If they're already part of a retirement solution, or if they're on Cal Savers, he can work with them all. So that's what's great with
Yeah.
our members, is that they definitely can see this benefit. And there's ones that are kind of fall under the five or the less than 5 employees. So they're saying, we're going to hold off right now, but once we know that this is going to come down the line, we'll definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Kevin, have you had any experience with some of the members already on your side?
Oh, well, yeah, first, absolutely. And they've been very happy. I think one of the members, I won't mention any names, but when we went to do the employee signups, they couldn't believe how easy it was for an employee to get signed up. It literally was 3 steps. It took about 60 seconds because all the data is already in there. They're just clicking sort of yes or no. And do you want to participate or not? It's really easy. And I think one of the things that I do, and I didn't talk a whole lot about my role as the consultant, but really I'm also acting as a fiduciary. So again, we have Vestwell. That's the website. That's where you go log in, see your account. I'm the overlay of the fiduciary that's not only working with the Alliance to design this, but working with each sponsor to make sure that the investments and where the employee's money is going, those are good choices, right? That they're reasonably cost. There's a diverse menu of options. That's my role as an investment fiduciary, how I act, and I'm an independent fiduciary. So our firm isn't picking and choosing things that are going to benefit me financially. They're picking and choosing things that are the best of class for the participants, which is in the employees of the plan.
Right. Nice. So I noticed on the Alliance website that there's going to be a webinar on December 12th titled Impact of the 2024 Election on Retirement Policy. Now, that is a pretty important topic. So you guys are going to have
It is.
So I'm encouraging everyone to attend because 2024 election will have some impact. Yeah.
It definitely will. You have a lame duck session of Congress coming up in December, which a lot of times legislation gets passed during that time, including Andy's baby, which is tax credits for not-for-profits to start a plan. So there is a bill out there that's being worked through Congress. So hopefully that will come through so that not-for-profits can enjoy the same tax credits as for-profit. But Laura, what's funny about that is I actually scheduled that when we didn't know the results. We talked about that. Obviously, now we know the results. Not saying it's good or bad either way. I don't want to get into that conversation, but definitely depending on who won, it was going to have a huge impact on policy. And I think now that we know that, and we know that it's going to be three branches will be similar in aligned as far as what they're trying to accomplish. You could have a flurry of activity here in the first couple of years, especially the first 6 months or so. So I think it's very important that we walk through that, and I'll have some updated real update to information. I'm on the government affairs committee for my organization, National Association of Plan Advisors. So we have regular updates from them about legislation that's pending. So very critical. I'm not going to talk about stock market as much. It is going to be a little bit more government focused, but I'll touch on the stock market as well a little bit. Yeah.
I noticed that and I'm like, oh, that's such a great webinar, really, right, Andy?
Well, it's great you mentioned that, Laura, because not only are we having that one, Kevin's already done another one that we've recorded. So these are also available on our YouTube page. And that kind of dove a little bit more into Cal Savers and what that program is and what we're offering, so some of those advantages to it. But we also have planned some other ones that Kevin will be doing specifically for the WVCBA. but also Intellicents offers these regular ones too. So for those businesses that are part of this program or anyone that's attached to Intellicents, they have access to those great webinars and financial education that they can.
Absolutely. And I'll share a little bit more detail how to access those, on that webinar. So I encourage everyone to join to find out more on December 12th at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Okay, so we are ending the our little chat here. Any final thoughts about anything that we've talked about so far that you want to?
There is one caveat to this program, and that is because it is being offered through the Alliance. This is offered to our members. So either current members or ones that do want to join. But what's great is that our board of directors decided that this program is to be offered at all levels of membership. So it is, so even if you're at the lowest level of membership with us, this is part of being a member with the WVCBA. And so, and really even at that level, the savings that you get along with everything else with this program, it more than pays for that.
Absolutely.
So I think
Agreed.
employers who are not members can look at the benefits, can explore this option and become members to take advantage of it if they really like it and need something like this, right?
And then everything else we offer is just a bonus on top of it.
and the community of Camarillo, Oxnard, definitely West County in general. You're definitely a good community, and I think being a member of the Alliance has its benefits beyond just this, just because of the community business aspect.
Wonderful. I have to say again, this is a great retirement plan option. Thank you, Kevin, for helping the chamber go through this, because it is really a great service to our community. I as a consultant want my clients to have this option. So it's something that I will be talking to them about. And Andy, thank you for the opportunity to bring this to light and to really have that open mind to bring this to our community.
No, well, thank you. Yes, like again, to be able to see when Kevin and I first started our conversations, see where it is now. I mean, it really is incredible. It's just been an honor to be working on this program with Kevin and be able to offer something like this to the business community.
Well, I can't say enough about Andy's organization as well. Marlo, Nancy, everybody over there. It's great. So definitely, it's a great partnership, and we would love everyone listening to this and those that are not to join and definitely become a part of it.
Yeah, great partnership, by the way. Thank you so much, Andy and Kevin, for sharing your insights today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Laura.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.